There's no way. It's way too much damage. Stop him with the block! He fell charged him!
Oh, and he found
wow.
Wow.
Oh, what? He gets out!
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this seed.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every seed
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Welcome, everyone, and come closer, settle down. We have some Ori and the Blind Forest randomizer for you here today. We have Poogle versus AeroRaiser, a match of the ages. One will be falling out of our tournament, one will be moving on to face another opponent in the future. My name is Apple, and I am joined on commentary by Turtle. Welcome, Turtle. How are you?
Oh, I am doing great, Apple. This is our last match of the lower bracket round 1, and as we are going to go through this match, that just means the tournament is going to keep heating up as we move deeper and deeper into the brackets. I am very excited for that.
Yes, indeed. I think our runners are as well. Poogle has mentioned that she really wants to win this match because she really wants to go up against the person who is waiting for the winner in the next round. That would be, I believe, Sarah Baron. Yeah, she has mentioned that she would love to face him. But of course, she has to go through AeroRaiser first. And she's a little bit nervous, but she thinks she should be okay unless the randomizer is feeling terribly mean and gives them a Bashnade seed, for which she will, despite being a controller player mostly, she will switch to keyboard and mouse for that because it's just easier to work with until she gets other skills. And she's hoping, of course, not to get that. She does want the bash, just not the nade, and would love to have a teleporter start as well. And she wants lots of skill velocity because we are playing the bonus light variation on this seed, so that should be very interesting to see.
Yeah, looking at what AeroRaiser has said in his pre-run interview, those skill velocities will also be great for him, as the stuff he wants is something like climb, charge jump, or bash with glide, so you can just float on through those enhanced speed bashes. He is also a controller player, so if we do see something like Bashnade, our runners will be on about equal footing for that slightly difficult movement tech. AeroRaiser came into this tournament not knowing a ton about the rando. Actually, Poogle helped teach him a lot of these tricks that he's going to help to show off today, which is really cool. And so his entire goal has just been to learn the randomizer better, and obviously he has, getting into this seed or getting into the tournament like this. And we were even talking before the race, and he was saying he's learned so many double bash chains this past week. So especially if he finds bash, I will be very, very excited to see him try some of those.
That would definitely be very cool to see. Of course, we might be finding skill velocity, so he might be a bit confused. Well, not confused, but skill velocity and double bashes do get in the way of your muscle memory, so he might be turning it off for that. I don't know if he knows the key binding for that. I'm sure he does. He has probably been practicing this in preparation for this race, which we should be getting into very soon.
Yeah, and we should also talk about Bonus Light. Bonus Light is actually an item set for the randomizer that is, well, it's got quite a few bonus things, not a ton as so to break the game, but some of the things that you might see in this seed are, as we mentioned, skill velocity, which makes all of your skills like charge jump and bash move you quite a bit faster. Something like jump upgrade, which will mean wall jump and double jump make you go higher, or even warps, where you grab a pickup and it teleports you somewhere completely random, which will be very, very funny if it leads to progression or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to break a seed with these pickups. The logic does not take any of these things into account. So if you reach a pickup by being able to jump higher than you normally should be, then the logic does not think you should be able to get this if you take a warp and find, I don't know, Dash in Sorrow, for example, without having any access to Sorrow, then you will have the Dash, be very happy with it, but the logic will not expect you to have it. And so Poogle especially mentioned that you need to keep the logic in mind almost more than in a usual seed, especially if you're still hunting for certain things around the map. And we are getting into our race here. Both runners skipping the prologue as per usual. Oh, I see a color shift on Aero's side. That's very nice.
And so, of course, as we start this race, we have to ask the age-old question. Apple, what do you reckon that their first progression will end up being?
Right. Aw, just a keystone. A very standard start here. But there's still lots of chances to find fun things.
And again, especially with bonus light, if we see some of those pickups, we will see especially fun things from skill velocity, zooming our players through the map, jump upgrades, letting them launch into the air. Bonus light is a heck of a lot of fun if you can manage to get lucky enough to grab those pickups.
Definitely, yeah. And just another keystone here. So we do have a very normal start, probably heading into Glades with those two keystones. And yeah, that opens up more possibilities for progression to be hidden somewhere. And I don't know, what do you think true progression could be?
I really hope that it is double jump, as with the bonus light pickup having quite a few things like extra double jump and jump velocity, getting that first double jump will allow them to utilize those pickups really, really well if they can find it.
Would be a lot of fun, especially the added extra double jumps. I have played seeds, admittedly co-op seeds, but I have played seeds I think with 7 or 8 jumps, and that's a lot of fun. You don't even need glide to get anywhere, and speaking of jumps, we find wall jumps, so now Blackroot would also be an option for our runners. I think both will probably... Oh no, Poogle is heading down. So Poogle is deciding that the play for Blackroot is her option. We'll see where Aero decides to go with this.
Yeah, Poogle also went down into this water, did a trick we call fake flippers. Aero barely dies. It's a tight timing to press Alt-R and escape, but both of our runners do manage it, and they will be rewarded with this attack upgrade for their troubles. That just makes it, so you do more damage. I believe you can attack 3 times instead of 2 before the cooldown happens. It's really great for breaking these early game brambles, as we see on Aero's side. He just demolishes them. And now both of our runners, with about the same pickup checks, will be heading into Blackroot burrows.
Yeah, Poogle was a little ahead of Aero a moment ago, but she did not have enough XP to actually give her an ability point to spend to skip this cutscene, as we've seen both of them do now. So she had to head back up and kill a Frankie to get that. So now we're both a little closer again, heading into the dark reaches of Blackroot Burrows.
Yeah, Aero, with a very heads-up play earlier on, took the experience from the Rhino at the beginning of the seed. That's not something you will always see, but in cases like this, where that can be the difference between a level up or not, it really helps, because having a single level is all you need to skip a pretty long cutscene coming into Blackroot, which both our runners did manage, but Aero just had that level a little bit easier than Poogle did.
It's just a quick choice that did cost him a bit time maybe at the beginning, but did come to be a good choice in this case. You see Poogle making quick work of getting up to this pickup. Just another keystone. So far, nothing very interesting being found here. And Arrow... Oh, Arrow's actually taking the vanilla path up through this... Oh no! Oh! Fall gets a spider shot and falls back down. Maybe not comfortable with the jump over to the other side the way Poogle did it.
Yeah, we did see him use wall jump to go up towards the area where he would usually go. But that the jumps across the platforms are definitely one of the more difficult parts of this trick, as the spikes below deal 3 damage, and, well, you can see Arrow only has 2 health right now. At max, he only has 3. So taking it safe, just making sure he's not going to die by going up through that vanilla route. It's a bit of an auto-scroller, but it is safe, and he will also get his keystone from that hidden door EXP.
Yeah, Poogle pulling ahead with that just a little bit, opening this door here to the further reaches and to the tree that she needs to reach. Gets a nice cycle of the platforms, allowing her to jump up straight away and not have to wait for them to float back down to her. And can pull the lever in just a moment.
Yeah, and it's good to note, both runners have 1 level or 1 ability cell at this point, although Arrow is getting very close to 2. So there are a couple different ways that they could use that right here. They can use it one right here, as we might see Poogle do. Yes, she is, in order to kind of move around during this cutscene and check a pickup behind Crushers without having to wait for the cutscene to be over. They also, if they wanted, could use it to get into lower black roots by kind of making a boulder just kind of stop doing damage for some reason. And Poogle does now have another ability cell. She won't need to worry about finding one if she decides to go down there and skip the boulder with another quick save anyway.
Yeah, doing a very nice layering of cutscenes here as well, allowing her to move while the collecting a tree animation should be playing. That just gives her a slight little head start to get to this pickup, which is just XP, so she will be skipping that and returning back to the top, I assume. Yes, there we go. Now heading down. Still has another level up, so skipping the boulder shouldn't be a problem either. And we see on AeroRaiser's side, he is also doing this movement behind the save anywhere. Let's see if he pulls off the blind movement quite as cleanly as Poogle does.
Yeah, and as we watch Arrow do this blind movement, it's interesting to note he leveled up 2 different things and spent 2 different ability cells in order to do that. He only needed 1, but it seemed like he wanted Magnet, potentially for a trick or 2 later. Otherwise, it's just convenient to have. But that does mean he does not have an ability cell to do the boulder skip that we just saw on Poogle's side, unless he goes and grabs more EXP.
Is an ability cell sitting down there just before the boulder falls on Ori's head, so he can gamble on it and will be lucky in this case if he decides to do that. He might already he might have enough XP to just get the XP he needs for the rest from the slimes hanging out down here. We shall see.
And Poogle down in this area finds on the vanilla health cell a vanilla health cell. Oh boy!
And
behind that,
vein.
yes, that is one of the dungeon keys that our runners need to access the front of the Ginso tree, which has a tree inside of it. It's a little treeception, and since our runners need to get the bash tree, the tree inside the Ginso tree, I have said the word tree a lot. That water vein.
I'm gonna say my name to add to it.
So Arrow is not going to look down towards that area just yet. In bonus light, I believe the runners do have the Ginso TP as an option, but that does mean that Arrow will have to find that wherever it may be. Whereas Poogle now has the knowledge that she, if she wants, can just go through the front and climb on up. She does need a couple more skills to do it, but it's possible with just one more skill, I believe, if that skill is something like charge jump or double jump.
And getting back to the point that Poogle likes to keep an eye on the logic, she now knows that logical access to the Ginso tree is locked behind a way of getting to that boulder, past the boulder that fell on her head, and then also breaking the boulder. So either stomp or charge jump are required by the seed to access that area first. I don't know if she will do anything with that information, but it's good to have.
Yeah. Speaking of information, AeroRaiser noticed that there were quite a few keystones early on, and has decided to use that knowledge and say, hey, Spirit Caverns was in logic pretty early, I think I'm going to check it out. This area has 5 pretty quick pickups, or 4 that he can check right now, and he will be looking at them, getting a lot more keystones, so potentially even able to go upwards if he finds one more here. But otherwise, this was a very, very dense area for him to check. And yeah, he does find another keystone and is going to head straight up towards the Grove teleporter up here.
On the other side, we have Poogle, who found in that loop a warp to the first Misty Keystone. She took it because she had found Glide right next to it and checked a pickup there, but decided it was not worth it and had saved beforehand and just died and came back. But if she ever wants to return there, she can do that. These warps aren't used up. They will remain on the map, so she can always come back and take it again if she feels like it.
That being said, it is very, very difficult to remember the warps that you have and where they take you to and where they are in the first place. And especially this early on in the seed, Poogle's not really going to be thinking about Misty. That's a very dangerous area, especially without verticality and a power skill. But if she can remember that, that could be pretty instrumental in getting her through Misty really, really quickly later on in the seed.
Yeah, it's definitely another thing to keep your mind on, but I know Poogle is a very experienced bonus light runner, if you want to call it that. Will probably remember that. And oh, on the right we find Dash underneath the sea flame tree. Poogle will most likely get this pretty soon as well, unless she goes down the rabbit hole of all these warps again, which she does seem to be doing for now. We'll see how far she goes with this. She can get all the way... no, she can't get up to the tree, but she can take almost all the other paths, I think. Does not actually get into the tree, I don't. Although,
Yeah.
can you jump up? Can you get high enough to get onto that wall? I am not sure.
We may even see something in here that allows her to, like, jump velocity, which would be really fun. But we did also see over 300 experience, which is a sign to Poogle that this is probably late in logic. It looks like she still wants to go through this area, as she does have Glide, which makes it a ton safer. And it'll allow her to get some pickups along the way as well, which could potentially be a ton of EXP or other late game pickups. Yeah, again, over 300 experience there. That's basically a full ability cell in and of itself. She makes her way down. We'll see if she can find a way up this area.
It might be possible. I am very curious about this. I've never tried this with this skill set. Of course, usually you just can't get here like this. This is super interesting.
And while she deals with all those enemies, we have seen Arrow is returning down towards this wall jump tree area, where if he progresses further, he will find Glide and see that this teleporter, or this warp, sorry, is also accessible to him. It might be up to him whether he takes it or not, but he is first going to find Glide, indeed.
And Poogle gave up on actually getting to the climb tree. but did pick up a lot of experience along the way. She now has 5 ability points to spend, and is heading up the way Arrow has already been, so we know... Nope, heading down first. Did you find a map stone? No. Okay, never mind. Yeah, she should be heading up the way AeroRaiser has already gone and collect her Sea Flame tree and potentially her dash.
Yeah, both of our runners just exploring, trying to see what they can get to with that warp. Misty is just a very, very dangerous area without a lot of verticality and without a lot of health as well. But our runners are still brave and bold. They're going to see what they can see. Especially with Glide, it's not impossible to go through, as we saw Poogle do earlier. And now Arrow is going to check a couple other pickups in Misty as Poogle makes her way up towards the top of Spirit Caverns. And hopefully she will continue on and find Dash under the Sea Flame tree.
And is going for one of her favorite pickups, the Glazer pickup. Again, maybe knowing things I don't, I'm not sure she can get up to it.
In addition, this pickup is out of logic. She only has 3 energy, and Glazer is behind a 4 energy door. Though she cleverly used a glitch in order to put an energy in there, leave it while Ori walked away, grab another crystal, and then come back in order to fully get in this area. So it's not in logic, but it is accessible, and
with that damage boost, she gets rewarded with a map stone, so maybe that... And we get our first jump upgrade! Yes, very nice. So you might not be able to see it too much yet, but Ori's jumps are now a little higher. I think you see it even more on the wall jumps than you do on the normal jumps. And yeah, Poogle can now hop around to her heart's content, and we'll see if we get even more of these. It should be fun.
yeah, absolutely. And you also did see Poogle quick remembering her keybind, since stuff like skill velocity can be very, very dangerous if you're flying around a spiky area like Sorrow with little HP. The randomizer does include a bind to temporarily turn those movement abilities off, or those movement bonuses off. But for now, Poogle's going to leave it on because, heck, it's really, really fun to just moon jump like that all over the place.
I can definitely attest to that. So I'm wondering a little bit what all of this has put in logic for our runners. We have no blue breakage yet, so we can't do anything there. We can't really get to the right side yet. I'm assuming it could be 4 energy somewhere, and that would be the way to go through Death Gauntlet to get to the right side. Other than that, I think our runners are slightly running out of pickup.
Yeah. Interestingly, we did see Arrow accidentally kill this Frankie down here with the boulder. That Frankie, if dead, will not respawn ever. And he can be very, very, very useful to break the floor to Grenade Tree. So if Arrow wants that Frankie alive, he is going to have to reset. And it looks like he's doing that. Yes, he will be attempting to keep the Frankie alive.
But he will never keep it alive if he does this the vanilla way. The Frankie will, unfortunately, die every time. He needs to rekindle to save anywhere, skip this boulder, so that it becomes, I don't know, intangible, and the Frankie will not die. This is also a way of doing it. That's a good idea from him. Just letting the boulder drop and Alt-Ring out. When he returns, the boulder will still be rolling, but he will be behind it, and the Frankie will not be loaded into the scene yet. So the boulder can roll over the Frankie without hurting it, so to speak.
Yep. Meanwhile, on Poogle's side, she does get Dash, and now she is looking at what we consider a pretty infamous pickup that no one has ever lost a race to. this EXP above Sea Flame Tree. With Dash and Glide, it's accessible. And yes,
and there
it will
is
be.
the 4th energy.
And Poogle immediately knows, okay, that's logical 4th energy. I'm going to go take this through Death Gauntlet, an area that gives her access to Grotto. Unfortunately, leaves the area a little early, but is able to move back, will open up the door. She'll probably Alt-R to go save, which will replenish her health and energy, which is really nice because in this Death Gauntlet area, well, it has its name for a reason. You will die if you're not very careful, and saving can be a huge, huge help.
It really can. And we see AeroRaiser has remembered this pickup as well. He is trying this without air dash, however, which I believe is not actually possible. Unless he proves me wrong. No. It might be super, super tight, but it generally is considered not to be in logic with only glide and wall interaction. So we'll see if he has it. I do believe he has enough ability points to skill his air dash. I don't know. I hope he remembers, because this is, I believe, the only thing he pretty much has left to do.
In addition, yeah, Arrow also doesn't have that jump upgrade from the map stone. That's not in logic yet, as Poogle did have to do an energy glitch to get through a different door in order to find that map stone. So Arrow, without the jump upgrade and without air dash, is having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to get over to this pickup. He knows it's in logic, it seems, and he knows he's going to get it. The question is, how?
Oh, wow. Okay, so Poogle has already leveled up charge jump, and so can do rocket jumps, and did a very nice one up through this vault here where all the slimes can be very, very annoying. I have died to this rocket jump so many times. It is not easy, so that was very nicely done from Poogle. And we see Arrow has remembered that he can get air dash, so now he should be able to get this. There we go. Wonderful.
Yep. Air dash is in standard logic. The game will give you enough ability cells to get there, which, as we've seen, our runners have grabbed quite a few. And so just knowing that you have a bunch of ability cells in dash can often tip a runner off to the fact that an air dash pickup might be a logical check for them. And Arrow does remember his ability cells, levels up, gets that pickup, and he will probably follow Poogle into this Gumo's hideout area, a very, very dense area for pickup checks that will let them find quite a few pickups very densely, as well as their double jump tree. So that's nice.
Poogle has been using these charge dashes not only to get past annoying slimes, but also to break these plants. This is not logical. Standard logic only assumes you can get air dash, not charge dash. But this could prove very useful for her if she finds something in a plant or behind a blue wall.
Oh man, and using that C-dash there as well. Actually, rocket jumping off of that frog will allow her to get up and check that pickup. Again, a little bit before it would otherwise be in logic. Just great knowledge of C-dash, how it works, where she can use it, and it is letting her grab a ton of pickups that otherwise would just not be there for her. But they are now, so.
We also see she's been toggling these movement bonuses on and off all the time, showing how much experience she just has with this game mode. This is knowing when and where to use them properly is a skill in and of itself. Because sure, they're fun and they give you speed and look cool, but sometimes they're just not good. So turning them off on the fly whenever she needs it is a very nice showing she's doing here.
Meanwhile, AeroRaiser, having a little bit of difficulty with Death Gauntlet. We definitely give it that name for a good reason, but is using his dash very, very well to just stick on the walls, out of the water, and even Alt-Rs after opening that underwater door. That's not in logic without clean water, but with that Alt-R, he can probably get that with another Alt-R. And if that turns out to be something big, that could be great for Aero.
Yeah, it really could. We see Poogle picking up another mapstone. I think this is the first in logic mapstone we've found so far. She has already turned in 2, but this one could also give something nice. Of course,
Speaking
the
of
mini-boss...
something,
Oh, yes.
speaking
Go
of
ahead.
something nice, that pickup that Aero found with a incredibly tight Alt-R to do another fake flippers down here, that is underwater skill usage. That is a pickup that is unique to bonus light and the other bonus item set. And that will allow him to use dash and grenade while underwater. Dash, especially underwater, is really, really nice to have. And so if he finds clean water, that'll let him just zip around underwater to check some pickups in other areas really, really, really quickly.
Yeah, I hope we get clean water so he can actually show that off properly as well. Haha, Poogle using those jump upgrades to be able to reach walls, to reach this pickup here. Just a keystone, but still good to have and a very nice showing of what you can do with these jump upgrades that you maybe don't always think about.
Yeah, our runners both chose the bonus light set of their own volition and are both making great use of it and just kind of showing off all the cool stuff that you can get and find and do with these velocities and with this underwater skill and with this crazy cool warping stuff that we've seen so far.
We saw Poogle take a little bit of a death, but with the dash and knowledge of what all these pickups are and deciding that she doesn't need them, she should be able to get back to where she was very quickly.
Yeah. On Aero's side, after a nice dash to get out of the water safely, he is going to climb up this area we call Glide Vault. There's a pickup up here that Poogle grabbed earlier with a rocket jump, but Aero just deciding to beat up some slimes with one of the attack upgrades he found earlier, and that will allow him to get up here for an ability cell. Nothing too useful, but still great to have in his arsenal.
On the left, we have Poogle getting her 4th tree. Now, with that tree reloading, her energy can get the pickup next to the tree by rocket jumping off the Frankie, and is now heading off maybe towards Valley? Ah, no, she's using more of her rocket jumps that she now has to get a couple more pickups here. We'll see where she heads after that.
Yeah, Aero's usage of Charge Dash has just been phenomenal so far, using it to break blue plants, as we just saw, using it to rocket jump to get really high up pickups that she otherwise wouldn't have the verticality for. It's a powerful skill, and Poogle knows how to use it very, very well.
Yeah, she's been showing some great knowledge here. She did keep that teleporter the first time she came here, so has no slow load here, and can run right into Valley Entry and see if she finds anything good here. Again, this is not in logic. We still don't have blue breakage, but an out of logic double jump is still a double jump he will take. So she'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, and again, in bonus light, double jump is even more awesome to have because of that jump velocity that we already have, as well as the number of extra double jumps that Poogle has the opportunity to find. So if we see her grab some of those, she could just be like flying through the air with nothing but double jump keeping her aloft. It's absolutely hilarious to see, and so I really hope she will find some of those. And I think she hopes she'll find them too.
In that vein, I highly recommend to everyone to play a co-op with bonus light settings on. You get a lot more of the jump and skill velocity upgrades because everyone playing the seed will have their own and can pick them up and share them with everyone. And you will get a lot more double jumps as well. I know I have managed to do the Forlorn Escape with nothing but double jumps because I had so many of them and they sent me flying so high into the air. So it was a lot of fun. I definitely recommend everyone should do it.
But even in a single player bonus light seed, as we might see, both of our runners do now have that double jump, or that single jump velocity skill. So we'll see them moon jumping around, Poogle with double jump, but even just a single jump is really, really fun, and it'll let you get some pickups that are a little slightly too high unless you have the bonus light.
Indeed. You see her trying here for slightly tricky rocket jump off of these spiders. Did take a death, but with her save right next to it, this isn't really a problem. Oh, spider died again. She can't reach the pickup she was aiming for now, but we'll just move on for now. And we see Aero heading towards his double jump tree as well.
Yeah, this will put our runners back on tree parity. However, Poogle has now made it through the spider sack area. Hasn't found too much except for double jump in Early Valley. And so that was out of logic too. So progression is still somewhere to be found for both of our runners in what could possibly be Outer Swamp Loop or somewhere else in Grove that we're seeing Poogle check right now. It really could be a lot of places.
Aero here trying with this jump upgrade to get to this higher pickup. Oh no, he doesn't even have the jump upgrade. No, he has set one. He's found a map stone and placed it, so he does have that jump upgrade now as well. But it's still not quite enough height, as you are supposed to have double jump to get that pickup. And one jump upgrade just isn't quite enough to give you that yet. Poogle, of course, with the double jump, does have that advantage over Aero. She has also found the water vein, which was, of course, behind the boulder in Blackroot. And Aero did not check that pickup, perhaps not knowing how to get the Frankie to do it, or just alt-Ring out and forgetting about it for the time being. So when he gets that clue, it shouldn't be too hard for him to find. But of course, Poogle can already go into the Ginso tree with this double jump and the water vein. We'll see if she actually goes for that. She is getting this TP now to get access later when she needs it. And we'll see where she heads from there. Oh, and gets enough skill velocity upgrade. Ooh. I did not see where she found that, but that should be very fun.
And Poogle absolutely instantly uses that to enhance both the velocity of her rocket jumps and her charge dashes. Just flies straight up and straight over, skipping a cutscene and letting her enter the Ginso tree.
Yeah, I'm sure she's aware that this is not the logical path she's supposed to be taking, but I don't think she really cares. Oh, doesn't have much energy. Used it all getting in here. We'll go back for that crystal. And she's telehopping. Poogle, I love you. Beautifully done. Just using that double jump to hop in and out of those portals and keep refreshing her double jumps to get up here quicker. Very, very nicely done. Although,
the first pickup that we saw, and this second pickup as well, both have very, very high experience amounts on them. That could be an indicator that Ginso is late in logic. And since we know that the water vein was locked under that boulder, that means that climb, charge jump, or stomp, or both, could be hidden very, very far in. Not something that our runners will find for quite a bit, unfortunately.
It could be, yes. We'll see. I mean, Poogle has elected to ignore this fact. I'm sure plenty of people would do that. And will be rewarded once she kills this mini-boss with a double jump tree for her efforts. Which Aero is not going to get for quite a while. Again, not having that water vein. So no access to this tree until he finds either the water vein itself or the teleporter.
Yeah, this is definitely somewhere that Aero will need to come later on. But for now, he is going to be sticking a little bit closer to logic. Just checking what he has left.
Poogle has no keystones. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but Poogle has no keystones and no ability cells either. I'm not sure if she's noticed that yet. She is setting up, or... yeah, realizes she doesn't have a way to save in the proper location for this key dupe and heads back out of the Ginso tree. This is quite a time sink.
Yeah, not only is that setup for the key dupe pretty long to get to, so she wasted the time going down there, but she also, well, didn't have the energy, so she just had to Alt-R out. Will have to, at some point, climb back up the Ginso tree once she finds enough keystones. So that's gotta be on her mind for later, because for now, it looks like she is going to head back through this warp into Misty, because now that she has stuff like double jump and more jump upgrades, she check more pickups, potentially even the climb tree.
Definitely the climb tree. The double jump should be more than enough for this. She was very close even without it earlier. And now, as soon as she gets rid of all these slimes, there should be nothing standing in the way of her double jump. And getting to that climb tree, there we go. Manages to get up the wall. Dodging all the slime projectiles. Very good. Oh no, that one did catch her just a little. Takes another... now, there we go. There would be her 4 keystones to get to the double jump tree. Of course, she wants this tree first. And that will give her, I believe, another clue. No, this is her 5th tree. I'm sorry. But if she does go back to the bash tree, that would give her her next clue.
Yep. Meanwhile, on Aero's side, we are seeing him use his charge dash to, out of logic, get into Valley Entry. We know that double jump is up at the plant high above. So if Aero manages to get up there with either some wall jump movement on the far side of Valley Entry, or with the charge dash, he will be able to find that sweet, sweet double jump for himself.
Oh yeah, there we go. Gets the rocket jump off. No, don't dash into the door. Okay, good. The owl leaves him alone long enough that he can get the double jump. And now if the Frankie doesn't decide to sink its teeth into him or squash him flat, there we go. He will get this ability cell as well. Don't know if he's going to... we don't have another rocket jump. Please be careful. Things hurt here. And we'll be going the long way around to check the other pickup on the top of that tree that he missed the first time.
Meanwhile, on Poogle's side, we're seeing her use this Frankie, the one that Aero managed to spare earlier on, and well, Poogle obviously did as well because it's still alive. She's using it and dashing to keep it low to the ground when it jumps, getting it through these crushers, under these spikes, and when she does, that will let this friendly Frankie break the floor and give her access pretty early on into Grenade Tree, even without having Stomp, which you would normally need to break this floor. The Frankie can just do it for you.
Poogle is, by her own admission, a very big friend of Frankies. She loves frogs, she loves Frankies, she loves what you can do with them with the right skill set, and as we see here, she pulls off that lure beautifully without any problems, attesting to her knowledge of this. Ooh, lands in a bit of a slow load here. There we go. And can rocket jump all the way back up to check this pickup and gets another jump upgrade. So now our jumps will be remarkably higher, even more so than before. I think 2 are still more fine to deal with, but any more might get interesting. Spikes do like Ori a lot, and we'll see if they do start hugging the poor little leaf spirit a little more than usual.
On the other side, we are still seeing Arrow look into logic. Well, double jump wasn't exactly in logic, but it was still fairly close, as he wants his way forward through the seed, whether that be Stomp, or Blue Breakage, or something else. He knows that it has to be somewhere accessible by just dash, wall jump, and glide. And so that's where he'll be checking, moving forward through this spider sack area.
Yeah, of course, using the charge dash to open this door here is not in logic, but a lot of the pickups underneath the spider sack area are. So this is an easy way to reach those pickups as well without too much effort on his part.
Yep. And I believe we did see Poogle come through Spider Sack itself earlier on, not finding too much of importance, unfortunately. So Arrow might be digging here for a little bit just to get more health, energy, ability cells, and EXP. While Poogle has made her way, skipping a cutscene, and is now down to the grenade tree. That is her 6th tree, and we will get a hint saying that the Gumon seal is in Ginso.
Of course, we don't really want the Gumon seal too much unless there really is... We get the last hint, perhaps, that the Sunstone is in Forlorn. Other than that, our runners will probably not be heading there, especially considering the knowledge we already have that Ginso is rather late in logic, so the Gumon seal probably will be as well. Arrow is having a little bit of trouble with this rocket jump. Oh, there we go. Double jump saves him, and he gets this pickup, which is a health cell. That's very good for him. He has not found quite as many as Poogle has so far. As we see Poogle actually get it at almost the same time, heading back to this area for a bit of cleanup after collecting her grenade tree.
Yep. Although a pickup that she won't be able to get is that underwater one that we just saw Arrow grab. It was only a keystone, but he is making great use of that underwater skill usage to just dash through the water. And we are seeing it again here. He can dash upwards, just like that.
That's a fun one. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, underwater skill usage is not something that's in the vanilla game. So it has a couple of non-vanilla effects as well, which are very, very fun to see. And if you can exploit them, as AeroRaiser did, you can check more pickups and get more energy, or temporary energy at least.
Takes a bit of a spider shot to the face, but should be fine. Just needs to get past a couple of other things here. Could use one of his many, many energies to save and maybe get a bit of health back, but seems more intent on killing all the wildlife.
Well, the wildlife certainly deserves it. If you've ever played this game, or speedrun it especially, you know that slimes are pure and utter evil. They will just damage you, end your run, knock you back. It's just the worst. So I'm personally very happy to see a few die.
Oh, I have nothing against them either. They do always seem very unfriendly towards Ori as well, so Ori can be a little unfriendly too sometimes. Oh, and Poogle finds what I assume was the logical progression. She finds Grenade. Oh no, hang on, that was blue in a blue plant. This is not logic. I am sorry. So yes, using her charge dash, she broke this plant and found Grenade, but even that was not logical. So we are looking for Sea Flame somewhere to reach several of these pickups.
Yeah, double jump is also locked behind blue. So it could really be just about...
Sunstone.
Ooh!
And there's Sea Flame. So Poogle has taken the path that the logic expected them to take a little earlier than this. But due to her having skipped several steps of the logic and already having the double jump, was able to reach, and gets an extra double jump for even more shenanigans. But yeah, was able to, with these skills, reach also the Sunstone. So she now has 2 dungeon keys that she needs. Has managed to glitch out some platforms here a little bit. Yeah, and so is keeping her lead over Aero, even though he has been catching up on her. She keeps finding new things that set her another step ahead.
Yeah, that outer swamp loop was both logical progression and just absolutely full of goodies. That extra double jump, grenade, sunstone, all great finds. And that will basically be a go mode, or at least sort of a go mode. She still needs the rest of her trees, which might be difficult to get. But she now has access to both of the dungeons that are required, as well as blue breakage in logic, double jump in logic, another double jump, and the Sorrow teleporter. So that was a very good find on Poogle's part.
It really was. And with all these upgrades, she can progress further into the Ginso tree. This should require bash or charge jump, simply because of all of the velocity she needs, all of the verticality she needs to get up here. But big double jumps will do the trick as well, and Sea Flame to redirect some of these shots will let her do several things again she should not be supposed to.
Yep. But we still know that Ginso is stomp locked, and from the EXP it's pretty late in logic. So it's not super likely that Poogle finds a big logical skill here. There's still a chance, absolutely, because the rando's a rando. It can put anything anywhere if it wants to. And this is still a pretty dense area for her to check, so definitely not the worst play to grab a bunch of EXP, a bunch of energy, and we'll see if she goes further up.
He only has 2 keystones, but I did see her place a save. Okay, no, she will not be doing that key dupe, understandably. With only the double jumps, it is still very hard to get to that door. And she has a lot of health she would have to lose on the way. I suppose that would help, but deciding that it's not worth it, she doesn't need the Gumon seal she knows is in here.
Meanwhile, Aero is still searching through logic for progression. We know ourselves that it is in the swamp loop. That is one of the few areas at this point he hasn't checked, being very thorough in a lot of other places, like for this really out of the way pickup right here. He's gonna see it's a key dupe and decide, or a keystone, and decide, well, I don't really need that a ton. Save scum it, and is now coming towards this 4 energy door.
We've not seen this from Poogle, so it could be interesting. Oh, and Poogle has found a warp to the Forlorn health cell. She can only do 2 things here before she's locked behind a door that she can't open, but sure, why not? Quick check and an Alt-R, and she has 2 more pickups, just for fun. And is heading back into... Why is she coming here? Poogle, you've done... Oh,
Dash
she's
plant.
checking Dash Plant. Poogle
Yes,
is a very
indeed.
big friend of out-of-the-way pickups. We saw Glazer from her earlier, we see the Dash Plant here now. Neither have really paid off, but it's always good to see.
Yeah. In the case that Dash Plant is hiding something, that's often a pickup that gets orphaned very early on, and people will forget about it. Poogle not forgetting about it. Unfortunately, it forgot about her and just gave her experience. So, fun to see, but not very useful. On
When
the other
Arrow
hand,
has found another way of getting into Sorrow. He does not have the TP yet, but he has found a very interesting warp. No, Arrow, don't die. Oh, he's keeping.
He's keeping.
He's using. Okay, so one of our main devs did pop into their race chat before the game to inform them that if you find a warp to a door, you can save before the warp and use it as a very, very fast key loop, which we can see Arrow making use of here wonderfully.
Yeah, that is such a incredibly quick key dupe. He did it, I think, 2 or 3 times. Now has 15 keystones. That is a great play on his part to just get all those keystones out of the way. And we'll see if Poogle now decides to make the same play. No. Or yes? Yes.
Not
she does.
saving? I don't think she's as worried about... Oh, and a Horu teleporter. Wow, okay. So, if Arrow had just hopped to the left, he would have found this Horu TP and wouldn't have even needed to go searching for his Sunstone later. And won't have to... Poogle now won't have to be going through Valley Entry, even... which was very difficult with the skills she has so far, but now is a lot easier.
Yep. And in addition, this side of Sorrow is actually pretty stacked in terms of pickups. In the vanilla game, there are a couple of different keystone doors that you have to open, and that just means for our randomizers that there are a ton of keystones that will all have checks for Poogle, in addition to a bunch of stuff like its ability cell, the grenade-locked spider EXP, and a couple of plants along the way as well. Poogle's going to be making very good use of that to check a bunch of things before breaking her way into the main area of Sorrow.
Oh, and she has sense now, so we will see Poogle potentially Horu escape. This seed has some wonderful warps. This will put you... We'll see, yes, she takes it directly where you're supposed to end the game. And realizes that she can't actually reach the one pickup she would have access to, so reloads the game. This is not the best placement for a Horu escape access warp. It's always wonderful if you can find it very close to either a TP or spawn, and can use that as an absolute shortcut to get to the final escape. In this case, she would have to take a bit of a trek to get back, which isn't the most fun thing to do. But if she manages to make the charge jump tree her last tree, it might actually be feasible to take that warp.
Yeah. For now, Poogle, unfortunately... Oh, she just found an ability cell. So there are a couple ways up for her now. We'll see what she's setting up for. It looks like the Frankie... Or not the Frankie, the Spitter Frog. You can kind of debate him into shooting a really, really high shot by doing a rocket jump like this. Yeah, Poogle gets it great, even with skill velocity. Manages to pull out that trick, and that will get her up towards the charge jump tree.
Taking a quick detour to check these pickups. She has sense, so she only has to get close to them. We see Ori is now white for her. That seems to be her cold color. We saw her changing colors earlier, randomly or with each pickup. So this is now her default color, and she will only change color if she gets close to a pickup that is quote-unquote useful. So any skills, any left side teleporters, the dungeon keys, of course she already has those, so she's not looking for those. Wind Restored and Clean Water will also make her change color, so we'll see when she finds something good with that.
Yeah. Something else on Arrow's side. He has now entered the Ginso tree, again out of logic because the water vein was stomp locked. But it's still possible to get that out of logic, get up here out of logic, get the tree out of logic, and, well, the tree's all you really need at that point. So Arrow will be doing that, and then hopefully he will make his way to find another pickup, possibly Charge Flame Grenade, or possibly something else if he decides to use a teleporter or warp to just check a completely different area.
I do hope he does go to the outer swamp. It would help him a lot to find those 2 pickups, knowing that the things he's done now would be mostly in logic. As we see Poogle heading towards her 9th tree by now, so she is just tearing down the forest by now.
Yeah, absolutely. Game knowledge also very great from Poogle. She didn't have Stomp or Climb Charge Jump in order to break the floor, and she didn't have Bash to do a trick called Fast Stompless. But she had the Sunstone, and the Sunstone spawns in another very helpful frog named Wilhelm, and Poogle with a great Sea-Flame redirect will get Wilhelm to break that floor for her, and that will give her her glide tree, as she now is searching through Horu for what might be a way into swamp.
Oh, look at that. She's turning purple and finds winds restored. Not perhaps quite what she was looking for, leaving Horu again now. But still, it's a good pickup, I suppose. And we see Aero has remembered that he has a warp to Misty and has taken it again and should be able to, just like Poogle did earlier, make his way through here with the double jump and his glide.
Yeah. Again, this is out of logic because warps aren't considered in that, but, well, who really cares about what's in logic as long as you're grabbing trees and more pickups? Because that's really what the randomizer is all about. Grabbing the pickups, and then of course, for this game mode, force trees, grabbing the trees so you can get into the final escape when that time comes.
Yeah, ooh, takes a bit of a shot. He did... Oh no, he didn't save. I thought I saw him save. This is... Oh no. Dashes into a couple of frogs and is almost back to the same health as before, unfortunately, but should be still collecting keystones. I don't know how many that is by now. Is that an 18? A 13? Numbers are hard.
It's double digit, and that's probably all you need.
He has more than enough. Oh, no!
Yeah, as we were seeing,
evil.
Misty is a late game area in vanilla game, and as such, stuff in here decides to just do a lot of damage. And in addition, that skill in jump velocity means that Ori's pretty hard to control. And unfortunately, that is sending him face first into a couple of spikes and shots, but does manage to make it through. That is his climb tree. Out of logic, using that great Misty warp that both he and Poogle utilized very well to get this tree.
Yeah, I wonder if he remembers he has that Sorrow warp as well. If he decides to use that. Arrow, you can't get out of here. Oh, well, maybe with enough jumps you can, but, no, I think he will realize in a second that this is not quite possible. Yeah, there we go. Heading back out. We see Poogle here returning to the grotto area, is now trying to get to her last tree, the stomp tree. This is, without an actual way of breaking floors and ceilings, very hard. She's trying to redirect a spider shot with Sea Flame. This is very precise. Oh, that looks... Nope. Yeah, she might be working on this for a while. I'm not sure the double jumps, the higher double jumps are really helping her here either, luring this spider to shoot at her at a too high angle.
Yeah, and even once she gets in, without clean water or a charge jump to break a different ceiling, it might be difficult for her to continue. She is showing that she is absolutely willing to stick it out, as she is going to take the water route.
She has a lot of health. She does not have ultra defense yet, so this might still be too much of an ask for poor Ori. Yeah, there we go.
And I think she would be able to make that right now if she were Arrow, because of that underwater skill usage. Using dash can just completely circumvent some of this poison swim damage, but Poogle has not found that yet, and as such, it's going to be really, really hard to make it through.
And she's still not giving up yet. Places another save to regain some health and might be hoping for drops from fish? Or, oh, she has health regen. So is now going to just spam jump and glide for a while in this little corner here. Hoping she doesn't accidentally fall back in the water. And should then maybe? Nope, you're gonna have to stick it out a little long. Oh, but this is... Well, it's an idea. I suppose it works.
It just might take a lot of time to work. And in a race, you don't always know if you have that time. Because we did see Arrow going into Outer Swamp, grabbing his grenade and his charge flame. And again, that puts double jump into logic. And now Arrow's knowledge of logic has expanded quite a bit. As well as his ability to break blue walls and check things because of it.
He's also deciding to lure this Frankie here to rocket jump up of and get that pickup over there. Oh my goodness! Well, this is not logical either, but yeah, you can see he's just kind of sitting there for a moment. I can understand this. And finds Bash. This would be... Wow. Oh my goodness. Also, on the left, Poogle has managed to get to her stomp tree. Or on the way to her stomp tree, she managed to swim. And this will be her last tree, but I don't know if she's comfortable with this escape. Even with all the jump upgrades and extra double jumps, it might still be a bit too much to ask of her so far.
Yeah, she did a very, very clever zombie, which is difficult in water, absolutely, but Poogle still pulls it off, makes it through, and we are now going to see Arrow come into this swamp area as well, probably going to be using Bash to some great effect. Oh, if he can get out of this water area? Yeah, having a lot of jumps and jump velocity will help a lot.
Who needs anything else when you have lots of double jumps that send you very high into the sky?
Yeah. Arrow does now then have the option of double bashing a spider shot. Still a very difficult trick, but it looks like he might want to use Ultra Defense, as well as his underwater ability usage of Dash to get through this swim in a different way. And we're going to see him pull it off right now.
Oh, very nice. Poogle managing to kill this mini-boss, who can only be killed by grenade or his own shots, but she has only used Sea Flame to redirect those shots. So, using this Sea Flame in very creative ways to get to places that maybe shouldn't be reached quite yet.
And finds 480 experience up here. That is so much. Ginso is absolutely not meant to be in logic until like the last possible second. Both of our runners just managing to get in there anyways, because they don't really need logic when they can use a Frankie to stomp a boulder instead.
Yeah, and this play coming back to the grenade, to the Ginso tree, really does indicate that Poogle is not comfortable with her skill set. She does want something, anything else, to make this escape more bearable. Heading back into Sorrow, copying her save file. We'll see what she does with this.
Yeah, she could definitely attempt. Or instead, I like this a lot. Go out to Horu Fields. There are 4 quick checks that she can get here by just using the Horu teleporter to go out of, well, Horu. That's not something we see in most seeds because the Horu teleporter isn't in most seeds. But Poogle's knowledge of bonus light is just going to be letting her check these pickups really quick. Finding another pickup called Health Leech, or bonus. That'll give her health when she damages enemies, like a sort of lifesteal effect. Not something she really needs, but definitely useful to have.
Yeah, and she is still checking these pickups despite already knowing what they are, or that they are not what she is looking for. Of course, bonus light skills do not register on sense, so she is still... Nope, she's gonna just drop all of those skills and take the copied save file she had from earlier and head back into Horu.
Meanwhile, on AeroRaiser's side, we are seeing him make some fantastic use of that underwater dash. Unfortunately, dashing into spikes some of the time, which will remove his health even quicker than the poisoned water. But otherwise, is zooming through the water way faster than Ori normally would with just a swim. And that'll allow him to check these underwater pickups. With the health he has, ultra events, and a lot of underwater dashing. He finds more health for his trouble.
Make this last swim very easy, no matter how much he runs into those purple spikes. Just another ability cell for him. And yeah, he should be heading out of here very quickly. Oh no, one more pickup to the left to check. And oh, we have seen Poogle has decided to attempt this final escape with the skills she has already. I'm still a little skeptical if she can really do this. I'm sure there is a way. Oh yeah, with a lot of... Oh, ouch. Oh yeah, fire hurts. Okay.
Yeah, this lantern room, as we call it, is probably impossible in a normal scene, but with the bonus light pickups that Poogle has, she thinks that she can do it, and is going to actually use the above method to just get herself this height, and hopefully, yep, go over, grab on this wall, and she is through that room. There's still a couple more that might be problematic, but we shall absolutely see what Poogle comes up with to get through these rooms.
Yeah, she has to race fire in this elemental room with the elemental spitting at her all the while. Oh no! Oh! Wow, okay, I did not know that was a possibility either. Getting up over the boulder despite it having already fallen.
Yeah, not having that bash that Arrow has is very, very much a problem, as these rooms are intended to just require bash. You can't bash off the lanterns or bash off the elemental shots if you don't have bash, obviously. Poogle's making great use of her other skills. See what she can do. Makes it through the elemental room. Wow.
Just a swim and a quick glide upwards and a bit of wall climbing left. Ooh, that was...
Oh my god.
Don't get Sigma rocked.
Oh.
She does have health regen. If it takes a little more, she doesn't even need it. Look at that. Wow. Okay, Poogle has managed a very, very nice final escape with skills that you generally do not want to have. Or, well, you do want to have them, but you want to have a couple more as well. But she decided, nope, this is enough for her, and it really was.
Yeah, GG to Poogle for that incredible final escape, making use of what she had, especially those bonus light pickups, to be able to jump up the rooms that she normally would have to bash through, and getting her way to the end of this seed, and she, from that, will be moving on in this tournament. Arrow just now finishing through Valley Entrance, using Bash to get a frog to stomp the peg for him. And now with that Bash, he can get up Valley pretty normally, as he moves more towards his glide tree.
Yeah, taking the time to, I assume, get the teleporter here first. Has to watch a quick cutscene of our lovely antagonist of the game, Kuro, which we will also see. We also just saw on Poogle's screen, snatching Ori out of the sky. And we have time now for Poogle, so that's 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 25 seconds, which is for the seed, which was a bit interesting with its logic. Definitely a very respectable time for her.
Yeah, the seed gave our runners a bunch of bonus light pickups, but it just didn't give them a bunch of skills. And while bonus light can be fun and good, it is very, very difficult to get places without something like charge jump or stomp or bash. But Poogle does manage it and gets through. It looks like Aero has stopped his timer, currently just having a nice chat with Poogle in their race time chat. So we'll see if, yeah, he has forfeited if he wants to come in, as well as Poogle, for a post-run interview after that weird, interesting, and quirky seed.
That really was quite the showing, both from the seed and from the players themselves. Yeah, we have seen Aero has forfeited this race, mentioning that he wasn't quite sure how he was going to get to Grenade Tree yet. Apparently he's not quite secure with those zombie Oris yet that Poogle used to get down there.
But still, a great showing from both Aero and Poogle, as they just make a great, fun seed out of, well, a little bit of a difficult start with some blue breakage starved, as well as floor and ceiling break starved skills. That's
Yes, indeed. We have Poogle already on deck. We will see if Aero wants to wants to join us as well. While we wait for that, we can already pull in Poogle. Welcome, Poogle.
and GG.
What? I don't.
Okay, so I knew immediately as soon as Poogle said she didn't have Bash. I'm like, oh, she's gonna be angry at this.
No, because I. Wait, then where was Sea Jump?
We
I-
don't know.
I did it with a
But
rocket jump.
what was?
I did it with a rocket.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Track. That's
Yeah, okay, so
Oh
we are
gosh, that's impossible
hearing
logic.
from our track.
gosh. Okay. Charge jump, spider set grenade door. Oh, I walked right past it.
The sunstone was. Oh my goodness. So,
Stomp on sunstone. Oh my.
so I forgot about the Frankie Walk experience, and I mean, that was a fun escape. Kind of.
Well, I only recently got Bash, and that's when things. As soon as I got Bash, I'm like, wait a minute. I think I can finish now. Not comfortably, but
Yeah, definitely not comfortably. I'm gonna say that.
I was just now heading up to get glide feather, and then I needed to do sorrow.
I
and that
think
was
I
it.
spent maybe 10 or so minutes just looking for something after getting all 10 trees.
Yeah, I think before I found I think right when I found Bash, I looked around a little bit more. I was like, I'm not really comfortable with this escape. I want charge jump or climb. Well, not even climb. Charge jump or stomp would have probably pushed me to go ahead and finish it.
I'm just.
But also shoutouts to duping for 15 keystones.
Yeah, when Aiko mentioned that in the race time chat before, we were like, "Oh, that's a meme," and then you did it, and it was great. Oh my god!
That's incredible.
Gumo vault at the very bottom. There was a warp to sorrow.
Oh no! Yeah, that's what I took to get my left side access. Because I literally. Okay, so the only reason I got.
Wait, why didn't I think of that?
Well, the reason I was able to get into Charge Jump Tree was because I know the SBS rocket jumps to get the frog to break the ceiling for you.
No, I'm sitting here thinking, why didn't I use that? I didn't even. All I did was dupe the keys and left. I didn't even check anything. I should have actually went ahead and got Charge Jump Tree.
I used the Misty Warp and Wall Jump Loop to get the Misty Tree. Realized
I did that
do
too.
that without double jump. Had to go back to do that. Use the use the Sorrow Warp to get into Sorrow, and then had to do Ginso twice because I only went in with Monkey Stone.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
Those-
I thought
those-
about I thought about going all the way through. And so I was like with what I've got, I think I can do that escape. Or at least, I was already tempted. It's like, do I go up to the teleporter? Do I go up and just attempt escape? I was like, nope, I'm leaving.
Oh gosh,
Though looking at this, what was mentioned here, I feel like I should have went further.
Bash would have been really nice.
Yeah, I got bashed, and I think I started heading towards the left side at that point. I double bashed the with the lure.
I've never done that escape before.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. You were searching for things for a little while there, and then just
I don't
decided
blame her.
to try it. Have you never?
The seed was so mean.
No,
Mhm.
I've never done escape seriously with those skills before.
Also, I did super late swamp. As soon as I went to swamp and I got charge flame, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I don't like this. Not charge flame.
Oh,
I got a bunch of
yeah,
stuff there.
'cause- so I saw Dash and was like, "Oh, blue plant break is excellent," and then decided to say no to logic.
Oh yeah, speaking of what they're talking about, clean water. Shoutouts to doing all of swamp without clean water.
Oh good, yep. I had to zombie my way into swamp.
I had
With the
underwater
dirty
skill
water
usage, so I was dashing through the water.
Oh, that would have been so great. No,
It
I
was,
had to zombie my way through.
I want to say it was the check above swamp TP.
Underwater
was
skill
what-
usage?
No, it wasn't
Oh.
underwater. That wasn't it. I'm trying to remember where I found that. It was somewhere funny.
Underwater usage was in the vault that's underwater right near the Death Gauntlet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was very nice. I reset
Mhm.
so many times just to get everything to get that. I'm like, okay, this was worth it. Also,
Yeah.
I like how when I was swimming back out from Spider Sack and I accidentally dash out of the water, I'm like, wait a minute, I can do this? Hold on, where can
Oh,
I
yeah,
apply
that's
this?
fun. That's
And I,
super fun.
I was like, where can I apply this? I'm like, oh right, there's a check right above us.
Yeah, so
Better than trying to walk.
shout outs
rocket
to
up.
getting a jump grade in Glades because I decided to do the very silly expert path.
Oh my gosh.
So Arrow, you can get to Gladeser with wall jump and glide in an expert path. And that's where I got my first mapstone for my first jump grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's not. I would just like to make a blanket statement. I would not recommend basically anything I did this seed to anyone watching.
Okay, so trackers are filling us in. Logical left side was charge jump at Spider Sack, climb above Death Gauntlet. Oh my god!
Clean water at the Triforce AC to the Star TP at the Swamp Entrance.
This is so bad.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So I don't know if you'll agree with this one, Poogle, but I think this might be the worst bonus light seed we've played that I've played. This is
I feel so bad. This seed was.
this seed
I-
was ooh.
Oh god.
I mean, I'm glad I was in a spot where I could finish, but still.
Yeah, I don't.
So I'm pretty comfortable with this. I was very comfortable with escape with what I had. I
was
wasn't
not.
very comfortable with I wasn't very comfortable with sorrow. Was my problem.
Oh yeah.
Which
There's
is why I
a
was still
really
looking
nice
around.
rocket jump that SBS uses to get the frog rather than bash the frog up to where that like the wooden platform is, so that you can rocket jump properly up, so it'll break the thing. You can get it so where it's right on the edge of where it originally starts. Get it all the way over there, quickly jump over the frog, and then rocket jump up, and you can break it that way.
Nice. If I would have thought about it, I would have just used the teleporter and gone through all that.
I couldn't get out of the teleporter. Actually, because no,
Well,
Because
not-
stomp
not-
and climb.
Not
No
the, yeah,
swamp.
not the teleporter, but like the warp spot we found.
Oh
that I was
yeah,
looking
no,
for.
I use that, and I'm like, well, I guess this is left side. So many sea flame redirects. Oh my goodness.
You did those beautifully. There were some very nice ones in there.
I'm
Mhm.
literally just gonna say most of what I did is because I learned SBS once.
SBS is a great category. I
That's
completely
why I'm
agree as
comfortable
someone
with
who
sea
runs
flame
it.
redirects. That's why I'm comfortable with things. I was just absolutely glad I had the sunstones that I could get Wilhelm to do things for me.
No, it's fast. I probably would have kept playing after the finish, but I think I still had a good maybe 10 to 12 minutes or
That'll
more.
be fine.
Well, I didn't have
We'd love
horror.
to watch
I didn't have.
you.
I didn't have horror teleporter, so it might have been a little longer.
Do you want to know where the horror
Where was
teleporter
that? 'Cause
was?
I had that, but where was
Yeah,
it?
where
That
was
was-
it?
That was the energy cell right next to the warp in.
Oh yeah, that one.
It was like the closest pickup to that warp, and you key duped and then didn't really do anything else with it, unfortunately.
Oh, I mean, I probably would have found it while getting charge jump tree at least.
Yeah, possibly. But with all that great discussion, there is one last thing that I want to ask quickly, and that is, Poogle, you are now going on to face Sarah Barron in the next round. Do you have any thoughts on that race, that matchup, while you're thinking about it?
Hey Baron, fight me.
I think that is a wonderful statement. We are leaving it at that. You are not allowed to say anything else now, Poogle.
That's amazing. Thank you very much to both Poogle and Arrow for this great race. We'd also like to thank Cleanfell, who kind of subbed in for trucking at the last moment, as well as Ernest, who was helping alongside with trucking, Fox Diamond, our broadcaster, and Appletree, thank you for doing commentary with me today.
Thank you for joining me here as well. And if you people out there want some more Ori, this is unfortunately it for today, but tomorrow we will have another race at 9 p.m. EDT, Cormelios versus Jay Halcyon, and we don't know which channel that will be on yet, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
And that will be it for us for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time with more Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer.